Good day, everyone. Today we are here to talk about AWS cross-account observability. My name is Gaurav Juneja, and I am a senior project manager in Amazon CloudWatch. And I'm here with my colleague Arun Chandapillai, who is a senior cloud architect, AWS ProServe.
Hello all.
So before I jump into the topic of cross-account observability, let's go through the slide where we talk about what is observability. Observability describes how well you can understand what's happening in your system, often by instrumenting it to collect metrics, logs, and traces, and you observe that. It's required to achieve operational excellence and meet your business objective. And for this, you need to know how your systems are performing. Now, we know this is important. So, why AWS observability? Look, we all know that data helps us to make the decisions. And real time data helps us to make decisions in a real time. When you have a problem, there's a service is down or application is down, you need to resolve those issues in a real time, and having an access in a real time, being able to fix that as soon as possible or nearly real time is critical for you to save your cost and also to meet your SLAs, whether that's for response time or latency or any other. It's really critical. And that's where AWS observability comes because we can understand your overall application health. We can help you to improve performance and availability. We can help you to reduce your operational cost, and we can improve your end-to-end user experience. And whatever I'm saying here, you can already see we have few customers who have shared their codes who also believe in us, and these are their codes already over here. How we help them to collect the metrics in the real time, how we help them to fix their issues, how we help them to notify their issues before any of their customers even notified them. All right. From here, I go to the next slide. Now, when you're using the AWS cloud, we often give or recommend, or it's a good practice to deploy your application using multiple AWS accounts, as it's really helpful for you to have your security and billing boundaries between your teams, and it helps you to reduce the operational events. But what happens when you have your multi-account strategy and you're trying to do observe your telemetry across all the accounts? Well, that's where you face this challenge because now your telemetry is scattered across all your accounts. And as you're growing and scaling, our customers often find it very challenging to monitor the data across different accounts. And they always come to us to say how I can have a centralized view of all my telemetry. Well, we have a solution now, which is called Amazon CloudWatch Cross Account Observability. It gives you a unified single pane of glass observability experience across multiple AWS accounts. We launched this in November 2022, and it's a super easy to set up. Aaron will show it to you in his demo, and it allows you to access telemetry across all your accounts. You can easily search, discover, analyze your metrics, your logs, your traces across the organization. You literally have a centralized single pane of glass to look out for all your data. Now, what are the benefits? Of course, you reduce your cost, time, and effort by having a centralized monitoring. How? A centralized monitoring gives you a bird eye view across all your accounts. It helps you to reduce mean time to resolve an issue. It's a super easy to set up. I'll have a couple of screens for you. And like I said, Aaron will show it to you in the complete in this demo. And guess what? It comes at no additional cost. You can have access of all your accounts in a single monitoring account with no additional cost. Let's talk about some of its key features. When I look at the log, you could have a log group search from a single monitoring account, and you could have your account into for different applications. You could have hundreds of accounts, and you could search their log group of those accounts through a single monitoring account. You can also run log inside queries. You could use a live log tail. And you can also use a contributor insight to look at which are your top contributor who are contributing to the logs. When we come to the metrics, you can do the same similar activities where you can have a metrics search using a single monitoring account. You can search metrics across different applications, across different accounts with different applications. Not just that, you can also create an alarm onto the metrics that you are viewing in the monitoring account. You can have a graph view, you can create the alarm, and you can also visualize them on the dashboard, which is really powerful. Imagine having a single dashboard to view the telemetry for all your applications and accounts. Now, we also have a feature called Service Lane. Service lanes came when our customers used to say that, hey, I need an interactive view or a place where I can look at my logs, metrics, and traces for the entire application. That's where we brought service lanes for our customer. And now we also support cross account onto service lanes. What that means is with using the interactive map, you can access all your telemetry for the all your cross account application in a single view. And the last one on my screen is a cross-account metric stream. Once you have your monitoring and source account setup created, you can use the monitoring account to stream all the metrics from your source account in a single stream to a destination of your choice. Previously, you had to do that from all your individual accounts, but now all you need to do is link all your accounts to a single monitoring account and create a single stream. The next one we have is our screen for how to create the setup for the cross account over here. I have a screen over here, which is you go in CloudWatch, settings, and monitoring account. So that's how you're defining the configuration to say, hey, as a monitoring account, what all telemetry do I want from a source account? I can have logs, metrics, traces. So I can select all or just one of those or two of those. Once I select the telemetry, I have to define my source account. Again, I can choose one or some set of source account, or I can choose organization path, organization ID, organization unit. I can define that and go to the next step where I can define the label, and that's it, and I can configure it. That's all. You don't have to do any more steps to set up this configuration. Once you define that on the monitoring account, you go that on the source account. And imagine if I just talk about you set up for multiple source accounts. So you go to those source account and you have to complete the handshake. What that means is to say a monitoring account is saying that I want to access these data. Source account should be able to confirm that. And over here, source account can say, yeah, I'm ready to share my logs, metrics, or traces, or just one of these or all of these with the monitoring account. Once I confirm, I link it, and that's where the magic begins. You can go to monitoring account and you can access all your data from there. From here, I'll hand it over to Arun, who can actually show you the entire magic of how it happens.
Thank you so much, Gaurav, for pitching this wonderful idea of unified single pane of glass observability experience, and that too with no additional cost for all of you. I mean, AWS customers. You all should be seeing my screen right now, right? And what do we have to do with adopting puppies? Well, who doesn't like these cuties, right? If any one of you are planning to adopt a pet, maybe this cutie pie, all you have to do is use this website, click on Take Me Home, give your credit card, a fake one, and then pay. And it's all yours. Now, to give you uh, an idea of what this application is, this pet site application is hosted within AWS, but across 4 different accounts. For example, the The pet site front end is hosted in AWS account A. The pet search is hosted in account B, and the pet list adoptions is hosted in account C. And the pay for adoptions, or rather the payment, is hosted in account D. Now, if you are the business owner of this application. And if the pet adoption credit card processing, which is happening in account B, is failing, how would you monitor that today? Now, what happens if the pet search, which is hosted in account B, is trending very slow, and you need to trace your transactions all the way from the front end? How would you do that today? What happens if the pet list adoptions, right? The listing, which is running in account C, is hosted in the ECS clusters, and the clusters itself, they are throttling, and you want to have a dashboard like the application and the infrastructure health, and then you want to quickly scan through these logs to troubleshoot. How would you do that today? In a typical scenario, you would rely on monitoring tools which are native to that particular AWS account. Again, that does not give you the complete end-to-end visibility, right? Or what you would do is you would ship those logs to some third-party products, again, which would cause delay in troubleshooting, which would also obviously cost more money for you because of those third-party licensing. Now let's discuss how Amazon CloudWatch for cross-account observability addresses all of those questions. And let's discuss how you can develop a single pane of glass observability experience. In this case, what you will do is you have 4 AWS accounts, right, with different services running. As Gaurav was mentioning, you will set up a centralized monitoring account, and then you will ship all your logs, metrics, and traces to that observability account. So the monitoring account is your central AWS account where you can view and interact with the observability data generated from all of these source accounts. Now, the source account is that individual AWS account that generates the observability data for the resources that reside in it. For example, the logs, metrics, and traces. The shared observability data include the following telemetry: metrics in the CloudWatch, logs in the CloudWatch logs, and traces in AWS X-Ray. Now, let's go and check it out on how we will do it in real time. So I'm logging to an AWS management console, and then I'm going to CloudWatch, and there I have the settings tab. Click on the settings and you will see this. This is where I'm going to set up my monitoring account or my centralized observability account. All you have to do is click on configure. Logs, metrics, and traces are pre-selected. As Gaurav was mentioning, it's up to you to select what you need. You can select your given accounts, list them, comma separated, or your organization path, or the OUID. Just to make it easy, I'm going to give an OUID, and I'm going to configure it. So now I have a centralized observability account that I've configured. As you can see, there is this tab called Resources to Link Accounts. If you click on it, it gives me a CloudFormation template if I want to bring accounts within my org. You also have the ability to bring source accounts, telemetry data, metrics, logs, and traces, which does not belong to any AWS organization or your AWS organization. Again, there is a CloudFormation template, or you could copy a URL. In this case, I'm going to use that. I'm copying that URL. Now let's go to a source account. In this case, I'm using this as a source account. As you can see, nothing is configured, and I have to click configure here to do something. Instead of that, I could also simply paste that URL. What it does is it pre-selects all of those telemetry data that you want to send, again, logs, metrics, and traces, and the monitoring account sync ARN, which is the ARN of your observability, centralized observability account. And you click link and you say confirm, and pretty much that's about it. You will see that it is now linked to the centralized observability account. Now, if I go to the centralized observability account and I see that manage source account, there is this account that is already ready to send its telemetry data, logs, metrics, and traces to the management account. Now, because we don't have a lot of time to set it up across the pet site application that I was showing you, which is deployed across 4 different AWS accounts, we have pre-built that for you. So here we have different AWS accounts, but there is one central observability account, and all of that is shipping data to my monitoring account. And let's check how you will be able to bring a centralized observability using Amazon CloudWatch cross-account observability. Let's go to log groups first. As you click on log groups, you will be able to see that this is the monitoring account. That's pretty cool, right? It is listing it as monitoring account. As you can see, there is an account label. These are from the monitoring account, but you can see microservices A, microservice probably B, C, and D as I go to the next page. It's pretty evident, right? So the system is now bringing logs from all of these different AWS accounts to a central monitoring account. Let's go and do the query part, which is where you are talking about this troubleshooting. Most of our customers, one of the scenarios that I described before, right, ship logs to third-party sources just to have all of that in one single place. Now, cross-account observability does that for you, again, with zero additional cost. Now, let's select a couple of log groups from some of those source accounts. In this case, I'm taking log groups from microservice A account, right? Just for the kicks of it, I'm selecting few of them, and I'm simply running a query. As you might see, it's fetching the data, and I'm already seeing the data from other source accounts. It's pretty cool. Now, one of the coolest things, live tail. We all love the tail minus F from our Unix days, right? Which gives us instantaneous access to what is happening real time. That comes really, handy when we are troubleshooting a problem. Reduces the MTTR, right? All fun stuff. CloudWatch Livetail exactly does that for you. You can select a log group again from any account that is linked. In this case, I'm selecting a CloudTrail logs. As you can see, it's from a different account. And I can apply filters, as you can see, and all I have to do is click start. What's going to do right now is CloudWatch Livetail is actually tailing these log groups, that CloudTrail log group, just like that, real time. Helps you in troubleshooting, helps you to bring your MTTR down, and helps you to restore your applications fast. As you can see, it already pulled one of them, and there might be many. And in your case, if it's an application, it's going to actually pull many. In my case, it's just one. You can always stop it. As you can see, there is another one popping up. These are all live logs. There's more, right? That's cool. Again, from a source account outside of the monitoring account. Now I'm stopping that. Now let's go to what else? Metrics. Amazing, right? Let's go to the metrics tab and see what we can do. We are talking about, see, my ECS clusters are throttling. Again, from a account C, D, or B, or F. And I want to see all of that in one single place. Let's go to container insights. Let's go after cluster namespaces. I want to select just maybe one for today's experiment. I can see a lot of accounts coming in here. I'm taking one of those metrics, maybe network TX bytes, and I can already see data coming in. Now I want to create an alarm out of it, right? I'm going to come here and create an alarm. As you can see, I can create an alarm out of a metric from a different source account. The monitoring account is telling you that this alarm contains a metric from a different account. The alarm will be created in the monitoring account though. That's what this box is telling you. I don't want to go through this flow of creating the alarm, but I'll show you how that alarm works, right? So if I go to alarms and go to in alarm, you can see there is an alarm, which is in alarm, which is a cross-account metric. Pretty cool, right? Now, let's go to metric streams. That's also pretty amazing. You can choose to stream all your metrics or include or exclude certain metric namespaces to stream. As you can see, there are nine namespaces here. The moment I include source account metrics, it becomes 31 namespaces. This means that within each of the namespace, you can choose to include or exclude specific metrics, right? This is quite powerful. And this is what Amazon CloudWatch cross-account observability brings to your table. Gaurav was talking about service map, service lens, and so on and so forth. And we were talking about how do you trace an application end to end, right? Which is deployed across multiple accounts. Let's go to service map. I've created multiple groups. Let's go to pet site group, which covers this entire application. As you can see, these are clients hitting. It goes to Amazon.com. There is a query. There are so many things happening here. What I can do though here is filter it based on an account. I can see what is happening in account A, right? A couple of actions happening. I can clear it and I can see what is happening in account C. And again, few things happening. I can click on one of them and it's going to show me all of those details. That's pretty powerful. Let's go to dashboards, right? We were talking about how you get to see your application health, infrastructure health, end to end for an application that is deployed cross account. Again, we have created some dashboards for you, just to get a feel of it. Let's go check list adoptions and probably pet site DynamoDB. If I click on this list adoptions dashboard, it's going to show you that the metrics, the visuals and everything is coming from another account, from an AWS account, microservice B, and you are able to build all of this. The visuals itself is a treat, right? So that you are able to get that end-to-end view of your application, which is deployed cross-account. If you go to this DynamoDB, what you're seeing here is the consumed read capacity, write capacity, and whatnot. Again, coming in from a different AWS account. And again, I have this option to click and go to the ECS or few other dashboards as well. This, as we were talking, right? Amazon CloudWatch cross-account observability. It does address a lot of these questions that we initially asked. Cross-account observability, ability to scan the logs across cross-account, ability to have metrics, metric namespaces, logs, live tail, amazing feature, dashboards, and whatnot. I'll take a pause. Gaurav, did we miss anything?
I don't think so, Aaron. I think you've captured pretty much everything.
Thank you. So, thank you all for listening to us today. We hope that you would try Amazon CloudWatch cross-account observability. We are here to help. You should be able to reach out to us in our LinkedIn to have follow-up questions, or if you feel free to reach out to us or to your AWS account team. Back to you, Gaurav.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time.
Thank you all and enjoy a good rest of the day.